What if I told you this trade on Bitcoin was already written in 12 years of historical data? Most traders saw risk, but the time said opportunity. In today's breakdown, I'll show you why trading with time and data gives you 8R trade setups, while guessing gives you 4R if you're lucky. My DR trading strategy works on every asset, by the way, whether you want to trade crypto, forex, futures, commodities, bonds, etc. Let's get started with an in-depth breakdown that will blow your mind. The aftermarket session confirmed into the long direction but quickly slammed through all of its important levels and confirmed a DR false session. While doing that, it didn't really offer a potential trade with clear rejections, except maybe one in the deep retirement setup area to target the 1 standard deviation level. Like I've said in my recent video, it's best to focus on the overnight or regular DR session for trading, since the aftermarket session is the foundation for the rest of the day. The overnight DR session then opens at 3 a.m. and closes at 4 a.m., ready with its levels. 1 hour later, with the 5:05 a.m. candle, price confirms longs with a higher probability for the session. But how high is it really? Historical data shows that long confirmations between 5 and 5:30 a.m. held true 83% of the time. Another great statistical advantage is that long confirmations between 5 and 5:30 a.m. retraced back into the defining range 100% of the time, while they also retraced back into the implied defining range 88.6% of the time. This helps us with the next step, which is identifying retracement areas. Very frequently under these circumstances, price retraced back to the positive 0.09 to minus 0.1 level. With the positive value being outside the defining range, we can exclude that already and reduce this area to the 0 to minus 0.1 level. Another retracement can be expected in the area between minus 0.6 to minus 1. This covers the area where historically 50 to 70% of maximum retracements in a true session happened. So expect either a shallow retracement or a deeper one, reaching for the retirement setup area. Based on historical events, price extended towards 0.7 to 0.79 standard deviations maximum during the true session, with a probability of around 82% to do so. This makes it not only a great target, but also a level that would invalidate the DR downside model structure, as it would violate the ADR high. With the next two candles, you would get filled in a position which reaches even 1 standard deviations, before the overnight session turns into a false session. These data insights offer an easy trade that would reward you with 3.5R, and you would not enter after that, since the high probability target has already been met. The regular DR session is about to start, but before it even starts, you have a lot of helpful information available. The overnight DR session played both sides of the market, targeting the aftermarket DR high and low. With that, a DR upside and downside model is already invalidated. A DR range expansion model is intact, giving early signs of a potential trumpet-like price action throughout the day, with both sides of the market being played. A DR range expansion model doesn't necessarily need to play both sides of the market. The regular DR session can open and close like that, for example. Each DR sessions expand in its size, but the regular DR session can expand to the downside as well. This is why patience is the key. We let it form first and confirm into either direction before making further decisions, which are then backed by more data. With the 10:30 a.m. candle, price then confirms longs with a higher probability for the session. All three DR sessions expand in its sizes, already setting a high probability target of 1 standard deviation for the session in a DR range expansion model. Zooming out, you should access previous DR sessions and highlight its levels that align with the current session. They can support you with decision making, since they are crucial levels for the algorithm. For Bitcoin's regular trading hours on Thursday with a long confirmation, the session didn't turn into a false, 75% historically. After a long confirmation between 10:30 and 11 a.m., we get following information. Most of the time, price had its maximum retracement during the session in the minus 0.41 to minus 0.5 level, and another great area to look for potential entries would be in the retirement setup area, going from minus 0.7 to minus 1.0. This includes the 70 percentile as well. Adding these two areas to your chart already looks promising. As a target, we have the one standard deviation level that, according to historical data, has been reached 80% of the time. Now that everything is set up, it's time to wait for clear signs. Price retraces back into the range and pushes higher. It comes back once more and starts to reject the same previous DR session level again, failing to make a new low. Even though price didn't reach the retracement area, a trade can be placed with stops below the IDR mid for a potential 4.3R. But this is where the DR trading strategy absolutely shines and offers way more. The time aspect reveals a stunning detail. At 11:45 a.m. already, more than 50% of max retracements were done. These rejections right here at the previous DR level happened at around 1 p.m., where historically almost 70% of maximum retracements were done. How does this information help you as a trader? It lets you assume that this low is the max retracement for the session. Therefore, your stop can be placed below this level and offers 8R instead of 4.3R. Seems like a risky trade for the uninformed traders, but it's backed by 12 years of historical data for Bitcoin, and multiple confluences are stacked up in your favor. With or without statistical advantage, this is a trade worth taking, and overall this day would have ended with well over 10R profit if approached accordingly. Back your decisions with data and you're one step ahead of the rest. If you want to learn everything about my DR trading strategy and use advanced stuff, feel free to visit M7DR.com. That's it for today, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. We're gonna take on the world.